Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. We're going to have a look today at how to create a chart from a table in Excel. We're going to have a look at a single axis as well as a double axis, which is one of my favorite things in Excel. Let's get to it. Okay, so we have a data table over here. It's not formatted yet, so the first step that I would always recommend is let's convert this into a table. And to do that, we use the shortcut CTRL T. This creates a table, and you can see the little drop down here where you would be able to click or uncheck if you have headers or not. So this table has headers. Let's create this into a table. Why is this important? This is important when we need to update any further data. That will help us update charts, tables, pivot tables dynamically. So it's vitally important that you do take your data and convert it into a table. Now, the shortcut to create a chart is Alt and F1. Detects the data here, and what Excel does is then converts it to a chart that it feels is the most appropriate for what you're looking for. So this is what Excel has come up with for us at this moment. Now what we can do is go over, so if you're in the home, you can go over to the chart design. Once you've clicked into the chart here, you can then go to, you can switch the row and column if you really want to, but that doesn't make much sense here. What we need to do is go to the change the chart type. Let's click into that. Now what you would do is you may come up with a dialog box where it has the recommended charts, and it does come up automatically here, which would be the bar and the line. But what we can do is go over to the all charts, and then if you go all the way to the bottom, you find the combo chart. Click onto the combo chart. What it's going to now show you is that the sales are going to be plotted as a clustered column. So we have a column here, and the line, it's going to be the percentage. Now, which one do we want on the secondary axis? So what we call secondary axis, this is the primary axis here, and the secondary would be plotted over here. So what we're going to do is take the gross margin, click it into the secondary axis, and now it's going to show us this. Let's click OK and see what we have. Now this creates a perfect chart for you where you have your sales on the left and your gross margins on the right. You can obviously change these. If you want to change the chart type, you go back into it, and you can change, if you want this to be in a line chart, you could change that across to a line chart. And if you want the gross margin to be in a bar chart, you could even do that. So this is going to be, we could have the gross margin as a secondary axis or the primary axis, and you can have a look at the way that the data is represented here. So we're going to go back to the previous version, which has the margin on the left and the revenue on the right. Now, there are a lot of different elements that you can do on a chart, and one of the first things you could do is just go over to this dialog or the click box here, and you can add a chart element. So you could have axes, adding it in a different way, so you can just scroll across the different options and see the ones that you feel are much better. And what you can do is even change the data labels, and if you want to remove those, you could even have the data labels come across into your chart at the bottom, so that could look quite clean on the outside. You could even have a data call out. So it's entirely up to you how you want your data chart to have a look like. We could even add grid lines. So if you want to have further minor grid lines, secondary major grid lines, you could do that. It's up to you. You could even have error bars, and we can talk about error bars in another video, and you can have a look at how that represents. Now the chart title, you could have it above, you could have it overlaid into the chart, and you can obviously change the chart title here to whatever you would like. You could even remove it if you want to. So sales and gross margin percentage. Now another feature of Excel is you could leave it like this if you want. We can change the colors. Now if you go over to this, you can select the different types that you have, but you might want to have it in a custom color. So let's click onto the chart. We can right click there, and we can actually fill it to whatever color we want. Now you can change each single one if you want to, but if you want to highlight the whole axis, this is what we do. So if we want to change all the colors, we would just click and you see the blue little icons here. That's highlighted all of the columns. You can change the color directly here, or you could just right click and you can change it into whatever color you want. And we'll change them all across to purple. Now Excel is pretty nice where you can customize things. So if you want to have your own branding and your color themes here, you could go down to here and you can change these. So how you would do this is, so you could just follow the instructions here where you need to go over to the page layout and then go across to the themes, and you can then create your color themes directly here. So customize your colors to what you want to have as your custom color, and you could have your branding here, and then you'd never need to do that again. Coming back to why we changed the data here into a table is perhaps we want to add a new field here. So let's type in bread. It automatically brings it across. And what we need to do is then, if we just type in the amount here, it follows the format. And if we put 45% here, you can have a look that it's dynamically added it into the chart. So you won't have to then redo the chart and change the selection of the chart. That's it for today. I hope that you found it useful, and I'd love to see you in some of the other videos. See you next time.